Good morning. I have a juicy story for you today. Her Royal Highness, the Queen, caught up in a scandal in the Sun newspaper of being a 6-year-old child during the Nazi salute. What's interesting, her supporters are arguing, she's only a baby, she doesn't know what she was doing. This is the argument. But I'm going to cross-examine that and show the evidence that she did know what she was doing in accordance with what we are now allowing children to do. So either she knew what she was doing or she didn't. Let's look at the evidence. Buckingham Palace said, let's look at the film in context. Every time somebody gets caught with a cookie in the hand, let us look at the context. Okay, let me show you the context as to why Buckingham Palace, they have a Germanic background, but what they did, they changed the name quickly to Windsor. And the reason being, during the war, the British obviously went to war against Germany over the water port in Austria or something. I think it was Austria, you might want to correct me on that. But it was over a water port. You know, it wasn't for freedom, as a lot of these 80-year-olds, we fight for your freedom. No, it wasn't. It was over a water port, and the British had their alliance. And that's the reason why they went to war. It was over no freedom. It was for nothing. But that's too complicated to go into. But it wasn't to defend freedom of speech. That's a lot of crap. Right, it was over water port and alliance. That's what caused the war to begin with. The royal family, being Germans, realized the hostility the British were having towards the Germans and them. So the PR campaign says, shh, change your name, and they changed it to Windsor. But even though they changed their names, they couldn't change their character. They can't change their nature. You can't change what you are. And this is the proof the royal family, despite changing their name, couldn't change the kind of people that they were. Look at the evidence. The British public says it's harmless fun. The British public, you know, there's elites in society that can get away with paedophilia, that can get away with racism, get away with anything. You're untouchable. If you're in the top echelon of society, you can do whatever you want, and the PR image, the government will sugarcoat it. If the average person was a racist, they go to jail. But if you're super rich and you're royalist, you're a prince, you can get away with anything. They says, oh, he didn't mean it. Okay, we'll let him off with that one. Let's see if he really meant it, and let's see if this this racism, from the royal family, maybe it's an exception. Maybe something wrong with Prince Harry. There is debate that the Prince Charles is not really his father. It could be Hewitt. So maybe there's something there. These white liberals want to pretend if you commit a crime, it's because you didn't have your baby dog in your mouth, or you lack protein. They always come up with some crap to justify your criminal action. Okay, maybe it was a one-off. Let's see if it was a one-off. Apparently, it's not a one-off. Even Prince Charles called his Asian friend, his Indian friend, a gollywog. Called him a gollywog, or another word, come what it was, gollywog, Charlie, these racist terms that they used in the 1960s. And still the British public, being what they are, two-faced, it's okay, they don't know what they're doing. Do they? They don't know what they're doing. Princess Anne, when the African Americans are different to Black British. Black British people over here, we're weak. But African Americans, they are different. They're stronger. They know their rights. But the black British over here, we're weaklings. You know, we'll put up with any kind of abuse. But African Americans will not. The African American lawyers were having a restaurant, having a dinner at the restaurant, and I think it was Princess Anne, who says, "Be quiet." These are black African American lawyers. "Be quiet," she said. Princess Anne, "Be quiet." Do you remember the colonial times or something? No, sorry, do you remember the plantation? Do you remember the plantation? And the white press, they covered it over. This racial abuse, and they covered it over. It's all, look, one thing in this world, whether you're a paedophile, you know, whether you're a hardcore racist, LGBT, they'll protect. But if they like you, your crime, they make it look like that. The system will support you, and that's why Jimmy Savile got away with the horror of child abuse. Why? The system loved him. If the system love you, they will rally around you. The British public, they love the monarchy. As long as you don't attack the LGBT team, as long as you don't attack the 6-year-olds, the 55-year-old who wants to be a 6-year-old girl, as long as you leave them alone to their sickness, society will condone anything. But anyway, let's go back on track. She was a 6-year-old girl. She didn't know what she was doing. Didn't she? Everybody will say, yeah, they don't know what they're doing. Prepare for the shock. I'm setting you up right now. Be careful. I'm setting you up. You're under oath. You're under oath. She was a 6-year-old. She didn't know what she was doing. So when parents teach their children how to be racist, and the child comes out, "You nigger," they didn't know what they were doing. I accept. Whatever you tell me, I accept. They were naive. Now here comes the dynamite. Now I'm going to damage you. So the Queen at 6-year-old didn't know what she was doing. 7 years old, sorry. When I was 7, I knew what I was doing. Now it's interesting, a 4-year-old had a sex change. I've even heard worse, 3-year-olds having sex change, yet they know what they're doing. Think about the logic of this liberal sickness when you want to justify sin, when you want to justify racism. They didn't know what they were doing. Really? You can have a sex change at 2 years old and 3 years old. You can abuse a child. Oh yes, give them a sex change. That's abuse. Oh, they know what they're doing then when it comes to sex. They know what they're doing at 3. You can teach them how to suck a dick in school. Homosexual studies. They know what they're doing then. But when it comes to racism, they don't know what they're doing. I put it to you, you knew the Queen was a goddamn racist. You knew the royal family has linked with the Nazis. You knew that. Don't use her childhood as she didn't know what she was doing. I've already posted evidence. You think 3-year-olds know what they're doing and you cut their bits off. In the name of liberal madness. This world's gone crazy. The people we love, we protect. We will play games as long it doesn't affect our agenda. As long, so, you know, the Queen, we love her. As long as she doesn't attack the LGBT, you'll cover up anything. Cover up a multitude of crimes. These people, we have no right to say, oh, I'm a law-abiding person. I keep the laws. No, you don't. If the Queen was involved in a paedophile ring, you'd be the first to protect her. What you mean is, things you don't care about, you will sweep under the carpet. Meaning you're willing to compromise the truth. Compromise the truth. Prince Charles, you know, all of the newspaper, he was a racist. Yeah, people smoke a cigarette. It doesn't bother me. Let him be homophobic. Let him be against LGBT. They'll be interested to watch public opinion then. She was 6 years old, you know, 7 years old. She didn't know what she was doing. When I was 7 years old, I was singing in a choir. I knew what I was doing. I knew right from wrong. If you don't know today what right and wrong is, you should not be encouraging 3-year-olds to have sex changes. That's an abuse. This is the proof. This is the proof that the system, the politics, have an agenda, that they'll force it on you. They'll twist nature and twist what is right to get across their agenda. Telling 3-year-olds they know what they're doing, but the Queen didn't know what she was doing when she did a Nazi salute. Yes, she did. The royal family has a history of racism, which the public sweep under the carpet. That's okay. We don't mind that. We don't mind that. Even Kate Middleton was caught up. I think it's a bodyguard. The only reason why you don't get nothing on Prince William, the only reason why Prince William is a goody, is because he's next to be king. And when he becomes king, it'll be a multicultural England, so he has to play the part. They have to wash away that Nazi background, that racist background. If Prince Harry was in line to be king, he would not come out with all the racist jive that he did. Prince William, he's all doctored and smoothed over, glossed over. Shh, you are future king. Make sure you hide your racism. You don't bring it out. Make sure you like Lady Diana. And that's the reason why Prince William is not caught up. Notice, Prince William is squeaky clean. Have you noticed? He's squeaky clean. Because he's next in line to the throne. But Prince Charles knew he wouldn't get it, so he came out with that package job. He came out with that nigger job because Prince Charles knew he would. Because of his relationship with Lady Diana, when he had an affair, when she had an affair with Hewitt, and he had an affair with this other woman. He knew that the public didn't want him as king, so he can do whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. He even linked up with the racist party, BNP, British National Party. Yeah, Prince Charles linked up with the BNP and mentioned about if you want to live in England. He wasn't talking to Muslims, he was talking to the blacks. They're scared of Muslims. LGBT and Muslims, these cowards are scared of. But other than that, back to the subject. Back to the subject. If children know what they're doing to have a sex change, why is it when it comes to racism, they don't know what they're doing? I'll leave that with you.